Yetis, Nick and Jack here with you from the TBOY studio. Before we hit our usual show, we wanted to acknowledge the news from over the weekend in Iran.
The U.S. and Israeli militaries attacked over 2,000 targets in Iran with missile strikes.
Iran confirmed that their supreme leader was killed in the attacks, and the Islamic nation of 92 million people has not yet named a new leader.
As of this update Sunday evening, 3 American troops have sadly been confirmed killed.
Wall Street is already bracing for the conflict. Airplane stocks are already down, oil prices are already up, and so are defense stocks.
It's a scary moment, though, for the country and the world. A mass shooting happened in Austin yesterday, not far from where we were last week, with 3 dead and 14 wounded, and that is being investigated by the FBI as a potential act of terrorism linked to what's happening in Iran.
Now, besties, Jack and I recorded the rest of this show before the attacks happened on Saturday, but we will be following the situation all week long and cover how it affects the world of business, economics, and finance in our own unique way, just like we always do.
First, Jack Dorsey's massive block layoffs. Is this AI or ego?
Then, why Coach's stock has quadrupled since 2024 thanks to a handbag anthropologist.
And how Netflix's loss to Paramount is actually a huge win.
This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Monday, March 2nd, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
Oh, boy, I had one too many tacos last week, Jack.
So, Nick, my aunt and uncle, who were at the live show in Austin, they said, Jack, your fans adore you.
It was amazing.
True, and I love that, but the real truth, I adore them.
Oh my God, Jack, I ran into a Yeti on the flight home. I didn't even tell you. We were hugging in the aisle of the plane, both wearing the merch. People didn't know I was gone.
I haven't given out so many hugs since college, Nick.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing.
Interpret that how you see fit.
You were looking fantastic. What a show. We can't wait for the next one. But Jack, let's hit the 3 stories. For our first story, Jack Dorsey became the grim reaper of AI last week, laying off 4,000 workers with one single tweet.
But the doomsday narrative on AI could be wrong. So here's a more optimistic case, and it involves plastic surgery.
Yetis, 5 years ago, Jack Dorsey, not best friend co-host Jack over here, was one of the 3 most powerful people in the technology industry.
First of all, he had the username Jack on Twitter. He was also, though, the CEO and co-founder of both Twitter and Square.
Yeah, that's right. Under Jack Dorsey, Twitter was a booming king of culture, and Square was the fintech queen.
5 years ago, Square's stock 5x'd and hit a $100 billion valuation.
But today, it's a different story for Jack Dorsey's companies. Twitter is basically Elon's AI toy, and Square got renamed to Block.
It's now worth 1/4 as much as it was 5 years ago.
And since selling Twitter to Elon, Jack Dorsey's beard has only gotten longer, while his silence has only gotten longer as well.
Until last week, he broke his silence. In one tweet, Jack Dorsey fired 4,000 people.
Wow.
That's 40% of Block's workforce.
And this tweet, it didn't even have any capital letters in it. He fired 4,000 people, all in lowercase.
It was like the Avengers Infinity Wars. Snap. Half of the workforce of Block was gone.
It's like a freaky superhero plot twist. But it wasn't Thanos, though. Jack Dorsey explicitly said that he's replacing these 4,000 workers with one very specific employee. AI.
And Yetis, you know what this is about. It's the same thing that doomsday essay was about last week from Citrini Research.
So it is easy to reach the conclusion that this is the start of a trend, an AI job-pocalypse.
But there's a couple of reasons to believe maybe this isn't a trend. Maybe what Jack Dorsey did at Block is just a one-off.
Yeah, maybe this is mojo and ego. Mojo and ego, Jack, take it away.
Block stock has lost all its mojo. It's down 75% from its all-time high. Again, just like Jack Dorsey's beard.
So maybe this mass layoff is because Block's lost its business mojo, but maybe instead it's because of Jack Dorsey's ego.
The founder of Block, Jack Dorsey, he has super shares of the company, so he can't be fired by the board.
So instead, Jack just fired 4,000 workers. Maybe this is an attention-seeking move to become relevant again as one of the big 3 dudes of tech.
After all, his 4,000 fire tweet, it got a lot of attention on Twitter, his favorite platform.
But besties, whether or not it's mojo or ego, this worked. It worked really well for Block shareholders.
Block stock had its best day in years. It surged 25% on Friday.
So clearly Wall Street approves of CEOs replacing humans with way cheaper AI instead.
And many are speculating that Jack's Block layoffs give cover for other CEOs to make similar moves.
We're talking mass layoffs here. But besties, Jack and I think there is a way that AI could play out in completely different, in fact, completely opposite way of that job-pocalypse scenario. The answer is our takeaway. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for all our buddies worried about AI?
Here's a theory. AI is like corporate Botox. It doesn't cut workers, it enhances them.
Now, Yetis, remember last year we talked about that theory that AI is like corporate Ozempic? It cuts size, but increases the output of a company.
Well, what Jack Dorsey just did last week is much more extreme than Ozempic. It's like corporate liposuction or corporate amputation.
Like cutting off a limb. But also last week, Citadel Securities suggested something different, that AI, as Jack and I would put it, it's more like corporate Botox.
Last week, Citadel wanted to change the narrative because that Wall Street firm doesn't think that AI will eliminate jobs.
No, they've got 3 ideas why. First, adoption of AI will be slow, and the slower the adoption, the easier it is for workers to adjust.
Second, they think AI will boost entrepreneurship, and it already is. New company formation hit records in 2024 and 2025.
And finally, they think the government will act. If AI booms profits and crushes workers, an AI tax will redistribute the cash.
So instead of a doomsday scenario, Citadel thinks AI will simply boost each worker's productivity, a lot like Microsoft Office did 20 years ago.
Besties, last week, all the talk was that AI will eviscerate white-collar jobs, but honestly, no one really knows what it's going to do.
So Citadel has a more optimistic take that we wanted to share with you.
Or as Jack and I would put it, maybe AI will be like corporate Botox, not cutting workers, but enhancing them. For our second story, thanks to Coach's handbag sales, its stock has quadrupled since 2024.
Coach is the only company that can sell handbags to Gen Z because they hired an anthropologist.
They hired an anthropologist. But besties, before you dive into the story, Jack, can I do a little OOTD, a little outfit of the day for you over here?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I've got a Kate Spade wallet. I'm wearing the Stuart Weitzman boots, and I've got a Coach handbag. What do you think?
Okay, good for you. But that's not just an outfit. That's an entire company.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not wearing that.
Because Tapestry owns all 3 of those brands. It's a $30 billion luxury giant.
And besties, this Tapestry stock, the owner of Coach, is the NVIDIA of New York Fashion Week.
The stock is up 22% so far this year. It's up 85% in the last 12 months, and it's quadrupled since 2024.
Coach, their stock is at Anna Wintour highs right now, all-time highs.
Now, you might think luxury brands cater just to the wealthy few. But get this, Coach alone sold to 3 million new customers last quarter, a record high for the brand.
Even Tyra Banks would be impressed by that. And the reason is Val Luxury. It's a luxury brand, but focused on a value price.
For instance, the top-selling Coach bag, it's called the Tabby, and it's just $350.
Yeah, they flex the name at 1/10 the cost of Chanel. But besties, the real reason Coach is crushing it right now, what is it, Jack?
An anthropologist is the head of Coach's marketing.
This is what Jack and I find fascinating, Eddies. The Wall Street Journal interviewed the chief marketing officer of Coach, June Silverstein. So Jack and I naturally soft-stalked her on LinkedIn.
And before Harvard Business School, she was at Columbia University. Her major was anthropology,
the scientific study of humans. In fact, June went on to a Fulbright scholarship studying second-generation North African women over in France. Yeah, she's hardcore anthro.
Just like National Geographic analyzes flora and fauna, anthropologists like June analyze us humans.
Which has led to a unique approach over at Coach. Not customer surveys and customer focus groups. What is it, Jack?
Joan Silverstein goes into people's homes and studies our lives.
That's right. Every quarter, June visits the homes of women 18 to 30 years old, the target customer of Coach handbags.
I assume she's been invited, but she will literally pop into somebody's apartment, hang out in their closet, look around, and then chat at their kitchen table about how they spend their day.
For example, June noticed that Gen Z likes to express themselves in multiple identities, like, how young people put gibbets on their Crocs when they go out wearing them.
So Coach launched charms for their handbags. Cute little carrots, fun little bows, even miniaturized novels that you can clip to the handle of your handbag.
What she observed was that the desire to personalize was so deep that consumers would even accessorize an accessory like a handbag. Basically, handbag charms.
I thought you were going to say handbag inception.
Well, either way, Coach sales are crushing it right now because their chief marketing officer spends afternoons opening up 23-year-olds' dressers.
Not creepy.
No.
It's marketing.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Coach?
To understand the customer, act like Jane Goodall.
Ah, Jane Goodall. Yetis, she's the late, great anthropologist who studied chimpanzees and people.
She spent her life in the forests of Africa observing primates. She was the first to document chimpanzees using tools which made us realize, wow, they're not as different from humans as we thought.
Well, June took Jane science into marketing, an ethnographic approach, as the scientists would call it, proving more effective than traditional marketing.
June realized that brands mistake data for insight.
Such a good quote. Basically, you can learn something about customers from the data, just like you can learn something about apes by reading zoo books.
But observing customers reveals insights that they don't even know themselves or can't yet articulate about themselves.
You learn who they really are, besties, what they really want by opening up the sock drawer and watching their daily routines.
So you don't need more data, you need more Jane Goodalls.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor. For our third and final story, with Paramount increasing its bid to buy Warner Brothers, Netflix is walking away, and we'll explain all the drama through Wedding Crashers.
We'll also assess the impact on Wall Street, Hollywood, and on our American society.
But also, Vince Vaughn and Wedding Crashers. Besties, the biggest love triangle in Hollywood. It isn't a movie. It's Hollywood itself these days.
December 8th was the last time that we covered Warner Brothers Discovery, Netflix, and Paramount's awkward throuple situation.
Now, back then, Netflix had offered $83 billion to buy Warner Brothers, and until last week was presumed to be the winner of the bidding war for the famous Hollywood studio and HBO Max.
But since then, the corporate M&A drama has played out like Wedding Crashers.
Now, follow us on this one. Here's the cast. Warner Brothers is playing the bride. Netflix is playing the steady fiancé. And Jack, who would you say is playing Paramount in this case?
Oh, he's the rich ex who's constantly DMing the bride, telling her to reconsider, and even showing up at the rehearsal dinner. Will that make you love me, Dad?
Well, we're not even exaggerating, besties. Wait to hear this.
The CEOs of Netflix and Warner Brothers did a real photo shoot. Basically the equivalent of engagement pics.
I think there was a hug. I saw in there, Jack.
Which leads to the news. You already know it. After Paramount upped their offer to buy Warner Brothers last week, Netflix decided to walk away. Paramount is the winner.
Or in Wedding Crashers terms, Netflix was at the altar, but then Paramount burst in with a huge ring, and the bride just said, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, it might have been the stiff mattress, or the gay nude art show, or maybe the midnight rain.
Either way, Netflix is single again. But besties, before you cry for Netflix, Netflix's loss is actually, in our opinion, a pretty big win for Netflix.
Get this. In the 2.5 months after Netflix bid $83 billion to buy Warner Brothers, Netflix stock fell 31%. Investors very much disapproved of the acquisition.
Investors disapproved like an angry father-in-law.
If anyone believed Netflix and Warner Brothers should not be wed, Wall Street would have stood up.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers simply isn't worth anything close to what Netflix was offering to buy it for.
Or what it's now selling for. Paramount is paying $31 a share for Warner Brothers, a company whose stock was just $8 before this bidding war began.
But David Ellison, the owner of Paramount, the new Nepo mogul of Hollywood, was willing to pay anything for the power of Warner Brothers' assets, which we'll get to in the takeaway.
And get this, Netflix still receives a $2.8 billion breakup fee as part of this deal.
Not too shabby.
It's as if Paramount bought Netflix a huge diamond as well.
Oh, and on top of it, Netflix's stock rocketed up 20% in the last week since it got left at the altar. That's $70 billion in value.
So it's not just better for Netflix financially not to buy Warner Brothers, it's better strategically too.
You're right, Jack, because Netflix's top competition is now basically broke.
Paramount took out a $60 billion loan to beat Netflix and buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they put that big ring on the old credit card.
And Larry Ellison even had to sell his $45 million San Francisco mansion to pay for his son's new toy.
True story. Most expensive home sale in San Francisco in the last year.
And it's not just the money. For the next 12 months, Paramount and Warner Brothers will have to stay in the good graces of the Trump administration to actually get this deal approved.
I'm sorry, Jack, but that is just not happily ever after for those two.
That's the worst, engagement to wedding 12 months you could imagine.
So let me just add it up for you over here, Jack. Netflix lost the bride, but Netflix still gets paid. Its investor buddies in the bridal party are pumped, and its rival just overspent on a ring.
Basically, Netflix is like, yeah, we're Uncle Ned's kids.
So, Jack, rule number 3 of party crashing, never leave a fellow crasher behind. What's the takeaway for our buddies over at Netflix?
No family has ever had a tighter grip on American media than the Ellisons now do.
Yetis, Jack and I have mentioned the power of the assets of Warner Brothers before, and we are not just talking about the superheroes.
Although Superman, Severus Snape, and Succession are very powerful.
Yes, they are, Jack. What we were talking about right now, though, is the TV networks. You see, Paramount already owns CBS, and now they're getting CNN.
The Ellisons, longtime Trump super donors, also now own two of the biggest movie studios, and don't forget, a huge chunk of TikTok.
Now, the mainstream media has been perceived to have a liberal bias, but it is now controlled by conservative megadonors.
This acquisition doesn't just transform Hollywood. It has the potential to transform culture and politics.
Because besties, the Ellison family now controls an unbelievable amount of American media.
Which means the mainstream media, it's undergone a complete and utter 180.
Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us to kick off the week?
Jack Dorsey laid off 4,000 workers in a tweet because of AI. But maybe that's a one-off driven by his ego and his lack of mojo.
Maybe AI is really like Botox. It doesn't replace workers, it enhances them.
For our second story, Coach sold to 3 million new customers last quarter. A lot of them were Gen Z women buying $350 handbags.
Because Coach's marketing is led by an anthropologist. They got a Jane Goodall.
And finally, Wedding Crashers, but in real life.
Yeah.
Paramount winning Warner Brothers is a blessing for Netflix, financially and strategically.
And it caps off the Ellison's swift and expensive takeover of American media.
But besties, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
Okay, first, I've been saving the cha-ching button for this, Jack. FedEx just announced they plan to refund customers who paid tariffs.
When the Supreme Court ruled that Trump's tariffs were illegal, the question of refunds was not answered.
More than 900 companies have now sued the United States for their tariff refunds.
A lot of companies passed on those tariffs to consumers.
Yeah.
They should pass on the refunds too. And now FedEx puts pressure on everybody to do that.
Jack and I will be waiting. We can give you our addresses. And second, Warby Parker had a 2020 earnings. It was that good. Their first ever annual net profit. They announced AI initiatives, and they're tripling the number of eyeglass stores.
The stock jumped 26% on Friday, the best day in years.
Yeah, Warby Parker thinks it can use AI to sell more glasses, so they're adding 3 times as many stores.
And don't forget, Warby was invested in by Google last year. Are AI Google glasses coming? We think so.
And finally, besties, we've got to say goodbye to our buddy, Mr. Clean, everyone's favorite bald dude in a tight white t-shirt.
Mr. Clean was either your nightmare or your fantasy.
Yeah.
But he's retiring.
Kind of like the Quaker Oats dude. The household cleaning brand, Mr. Clean, though, they created the character 68 years ago.
He's losing his job not because of AI, just because the brand thinks he's outdated.
Okay, but Jackson, my bet, we think he's going to be back in 5 years because every brand always brings back the old mascots eventually, right, Jack?
When the marketing teams run out of ideas, just bring back the old ideas.
Now, time for the best fact yet. This one is TBOY Trivia to kick off the week. Now, Yetis, Netflix started as a DVD company, and they mailed their final DVD only 3 years ago.
Right.
But the question is this. What was Netflix's most popular DVD of all time?
I think I might actually know this one.
What movie was ordered more than any other in DVD form from Netflix? Jack, what do you think? Okay, before we get away, give me a hint of what you think it is.
I think when was peak DVD? I think that helps.
I like your strategy.
And I'm pretty sure peak DVD was like the year 2004, 2005, like right before streaming.
I didn't know I was podcasting with Sherlock Holmes over here.
Okay, so peak DVD, 2004, 2005.
Yeah,
you know, I have 3 sons under 5 right now.
Okay, talk to me.
Which means we like Disney's Pixar.
I see where you're going.
And so I'm pretty sure the top selling DVD of all time was Finding Nemo.
Oh,
so
Jack.
Logic goes to say it would also be the top rented DVD of all time.
I may have given you the Sherlock Holmes compliment a little too early. It's not Finding Nemo, but drop your answer in the comments, and Jack and I will reveal it on tomorrow's pod. Yetis, you're looking fantastic to kick off the week, and Jack and I, we want to see you look fantastic in person.
So snag some tickets to our Washington, D.C. or New York show. They're on March 11th and April 8th. We got links in the episode description.
It's like a rock show of business news. We call it the IPO Tour. It's our in-person offering, and we're going to ring a bell for it.
And you might walk home with that bell if you're lucky.
Oh, spoiler. Jack and I will see you at tomorrow's pod. If you know, you know. And before we go, a happy birthday to legendary Yeti Emmanuel Kwame from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, running a 5K on her birthday.
And happy birthday to Akshat Kishan from Palo Alto, who, get this, was one of the live living human being bushes from the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. Amazing.
Oh, you did great, buddy. And Anna Harrison, enjoy that birthday in Lakewood, Colorado.
Happy birthday to Bernardo Salas in San Antonio, who's listening with his two lovely daughters.
Johnny Wynn had the best birthday yet doing logistics in Illinois.
Happy birthday to Benny Lopez from Lamont, Illinois, just outside Chicago.
And Hannah Thornburg has got the golden birthday, turning 28 on the 28th over in Kansas.
Happy birthday to Dario in Dearborn, Michigan. A leap year, baby.
We'll never forget you, Dario. And Ted Stoops, congratulations on retiring from the Army after 26 years. Thank you for over 2 decades of service.
Congratulations on the IBO to Jesse and Megan in Atlanta. They're turning the T-Boy jingle into a nursery song as they welcome that baby into the world.
And Miles Keynes is fresh out of college but got a new job at an AI startup down in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Big shout out to Laura Adams Hoppy from El Dorado Hills, California. She's a hockey player turned oral surgeon who shared that great fact about the 1980s Olympic team getting into dentistry.
And LJ Eve is an operations manager for the Navy Race Organization and over the weekend launched the Navy 10 miler in San Diego. Congrats on the big win for the Armed Forces, LJ.
This is Jack. I own stock of Netflix, Croc, and Disney. Nick owns stock in Block.